today's top boxing news.
Ow! Okay, we'll start with this. Roy Jones Jr.'s protege, Kerwat, posted this via her social media, and it reads, "Big announcement. Floyd Mayweather Promotions and Front Row Promotions present WBC and EBU Super Featherweight Championship. God is the greatest. Kerwat versus Persoon is on November 13th at the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai. Inshallah!"
Inshallah!
Isn't Raven Chapman supposed to be fighting in Dubai?
Yes, she is. The day before, on the 12th. We talked about that in my previous video, and it seems that Kerwat and Delphine Persoon are going to be in action against each other the day after. And I have to be honest here, Kerwat, in spite of being Roy Jones Jr.'s protege, I don't think she's got it.
Wait, does Raven Chapman's fight have anything to do with this fight, with this promotion?
I'm not sure. Raven Chapman is promoted by Queensberry Promotions, whereas this is a Mayweather Promotions and Front Row show.
Both shows are set to go down a day apart in Dubai. They ain't got nothing to do with each other.
Perhaps we'll find out more details as details become available. Delphine Persoon sports a professional record of 47 wins, 3 losses, no draws, 19 knockouts, having only ever been stopped once.
If you can believe that, yes, Delphine Persoon has been stopped before.
12 years ago in what was her 10th professional fight at the hands of Zelda Tekken. Their rematch was 12 years and 40, count them, 40 fights ago, as Delphine Persoon is a veteran of 50 professional contests, 50 professional bouts.
I reiterate, she's sporting a professional record of 47 wins, 3 losses, no draws with 19 knockouts.
To Kerwat's 11 wins, 3 losses, no draws with 5 knockouts, having been stopped once, at least once. I don't think Kerwat has what it takes for this fight. I don't. Kerwat, who suffered her first professional loss to Ramona Cuen, and there's really no shame in that. Ramona Cuen was a decent boxer in her day, but it's the loss to Simone de Silva 3 years ago in 2019. It's the loss to Simone that really stands out to me. Simone de Silva, it's not the kind of fighter you're supposed to lose a fight to, being honest.
Simone de Silva, who's a lot like Deborah Rengifo or Bohana Lebeziuska, Karina Kopinska.
You're not supposed to lose a fight like that, put simply. Simone de Silva is a professional opponent, after all.
She's a journeywoman with losses in the double digits. Losses in the double digits at the time that she fought Kerwat. Ikram lost the decision to Simone.
More recently, 2 years ago, she lost another decision to Jocelyn Morales Torres. Currently, she's coming off a points decision win over Happy Dowdy.
I don't know how much more obvious it needs to be that Kerwat, God bless her, she's just not of the same ilk as a Delphine Persoon. She's just never exhibited the kind of ceiling to go all the way. I understand that year-to-date Delphine Persoon is pushing 40. She's in her late 30s. What's she, 37, going on 38 years old? But need I remind you that Delphine Persoon fought 2 times last year, and she was in action in May of this year against then unbeaten French woman Elem Mekhaled. And Delphine Persoon still has enough that she won a decision. Elem Mekhaled is a better fighter than Kerwat. She is. She has a higher ceiling, and Delphine still beat her.
That fight like this one was over there in Dubai. You wonder that Delphine Persoon perhaps doesn't have something going on with Mayweather Promotions, because that was a Mayweather promotion as well. That was a part of his exhibition match, that undercard, his exhibition against his old sparring partner, Don Moore. Delphine and LM, they fought on the undercard. Here's Delphine again, fighting as part of
another card, another show, in association with Mayweather Promotions.
I don't know if she's got some kind of deal with them, some kind of multi-fight deal, or maybe they just like Delphine Persoon enough. She's enough of a crowd pleaser. They don't mind bringing her on for another show. In any event,
preliminary thoughts? I'm going with Delphine. Delphine on points or Delphine by way of knockout? Delphine is the logical choice.
In spite of this seeming a lot like a keep busy fight, a maintenance fight for Delphine, this is a fight of some consequence. Whoever wins this fight is in a pole position to become the WBC's mandatory challenger to the winner of this weekend's fight between Alicia Baumgartner and Michaela Mayer. Whoever ends up with the green belt, whether Alicia keeps it and adds to it or Michaela takes it from her.
Whoever wins, they may end up having to deal with the winner of this fight, the winner of Persoon versus Kerwat, which I anticipate is going to be Delphine Persoon.
Delphine Persoon, who's a little younger than Kerwat, Delphine is 37, whereas Ikram is 38, but Delphine, she's a whole lot more experienced than Ikram by far and wide. It's not even close.
Delphine wins this fight. She comes one step closer to seeing herself becoming a super featherweight champion.
She's either going to come one step closer to fighting the winner of this weekend's fight, this weekend's unification match, or, I don't know, maybe the winner gets tired of waiting around for Hyun Mi Choi and decides to move up, vacates the titles, at which point Delphine will be in a pole position to pick one up.
One thing's for sure. You're in store for a long night opposite the ring, Delphine Persoon. Whoever you are.
Whether you're Katie Taylor or somebody else. Maybe the winner of this fight, the winner of Mayer versus Baumgartner. Interesting movements. Interesting situations at 130 pounds.
Look for Persoon versus Kerwat in November over there in Dubai.
We'll talk more about the fight as the fight date approaches. Now, the news, Mike Copinga tweeted that Tyson Fury and Derek Chazoria are finalizing a deal, sources tell ESPN, as they entered their third week of negotiations for a December 3rd fight in the United Kingdom. Talks between Fury and Anthony Joshua broke off on September 29th, a fight that was never going to happen in 2022, and it's good to see that somebody else has the foresight.
It's good to see that someone else has the presence of mind and the hierarchy of thought to realize that
They were never going to be able to negotiate a fight that size within that window, that time frame, especially when one party, at least one side of it, is making things difficult, constantly imposing deadlines and time constraints when that's really not necessary. If you're the fighter, just train for the fight and let the suits do what the suits do.
Fury
Fury has been negotiating with Chisoria for weeks, while also in public talks with Joshua. Was there ever genuine intention for Fury versus Joshua to take place?
a lot of people don't think so.
A lot of people don't think so, myself included. A lot of people feel that all this stuff that was playing out in the public the last 3 or 4 weeks was just a clever ruse.
Clever?
All right, perhaps not so clever. In any event, to a lot of people, it was obvious that you really can't hope to do a fight that size in that window. And with Tyson Fury making things difficult, constantly taking to social media to impose deadlines and time constraints, just the whole thing playing out in full view of the public, rather, Tyson Fury taking it to the public.
Well, to a lot of people, it looked like a bluff. A high-stakes game of chicken. The Tyson Fury, he didn't
actually expect Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn to play ball. He didn't expect them to accept his quote-unquote 60-40 offer for a shot at the WBC title. And when they did, that created an awkward situation. The bluff, that entire ruse, it wasn't supposed to go on for that long. What he really wanted to do was shame them publicly, because what he was expecting them to do was reject his offer, and when they didn't...
Well, I mean, you see what happened.
It's a strange situation, to say the least, because from where Tyson Fury is sitting, now would be the most opportune time to get Anthony in the ring. When he's coming off of 2 back-to-back losses and, he's in a bad way, it would be the most opportune time to get him in the ring. But then I thought about it, and I thought to myself, was Tyson Fury serious? Was he actually expecting Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua to accept his offer? And
When I thought about it, I figured no way.
no way he was actually expecting them to say yes. No way he was expecting them to take on a fight like this off of 2 back-to-back losses. He made this offer in bad faith. He made this offer expecting them to reject it. And when they didn't, that created an awkward situation.
Even more awkward is that both Anthony Joshua and Derek Chisora,
They're both managed by 258 management. You essentially had to deal with the same people to make that fight that you're currently dealing with to make this fight.
it's the old switcheroo. That's what it was. It was a ruse.
It was a con job. Now, Frank Warren very recently spoke to Umar of IFL TV, and naturally, he's still harping about it, still trying to sell it, make it look good.
Right, let's just talk through the Anthony Joshua collapse.
Nobody picked the phone up to us. But that's not what he said originally. He said he sent back the contract. He sent back a contract and that was it. But he never, what they sent back was full of red lines, which means amendments on various clauses in the contract. And we turned that round very quickly and got it back over to them. And it never ever came back. They said it was being sent back and it never ever came back. And that's the truth of the matter.
Well, given someone of Anthony's stature, whether Frank Warren likes it or not, Tyson Fury likes it or not, yes, there are going to be amendments. There are going to be alterations made to the initial draft contract because he's not just anybody, you know. Not even in defeat. Not even off of 2 back-to-back losses. You're not dealing with Joe Blow.
This ain't some ham and egg guy from Romania, you know.
I mean, it's not. This is not a guy to where if he don't get to fight you, he don't get to make no money. He can make money on his own, without you. He can even fight for an alphabet title, without you.
But can you have a super fight without him?
No, not even a super fight. Just your run-of-the-mill box office fight. A decent enough fight that you could bill it as a pay-per-view. Is that what this repackaged, repurposed, refurbished, re-microwaved Derek Chisora fight, is that what that's supposed to be?
What's that gonna do at the box office in December?
It's a strange situation because Del Boy Chisora has a fight to sell just as much as Tyson and Frank Warren do, but I don't expect Del Boy to fall in line with this whole let's trash Anthony.
I don't know if he's gonna go along with the whole let's trash Anthony to sell our fight narrative.
Manuel Char might have been willing to do that, and perhaps someone else, but Derek Chisora, it's my understanding that he's actually good friends with Anthony Joshua, and I don't get the sense that he's gonna go along with this let's trash Anthony to sell our fight.
That whole gimmick, that whole shtick.
You know, it could probably do okay at the gate. Boxing fans that want a night out and they're willing to take that in, be there. But at the box office, that's where I think they're going to have a problem.
It is becoming increasingly easy to steal a box office fight, steal a pay-per-view by way of a pirate stream.
This fight ain't good enough to where the people at home...
No, I'm sorry, but this ain't box office.
I don't blame him. They got offered the fight for December. They declined it. They declined it and declined it again. And certain people were putting pressure on him to do a fight, make it happen, but they didn't care. They would rather lose the money than fight me. He's got to go back into the wilderness and eat his little food that he does, wink, wink, and then come back when he's a big, strong boy to fight the Gypsy King.
As happy as I am to be sitting here talking to you.
Tyson Fury seems to be insinuating that Alexander Usyk may be on something.
That's not the first time he's done that. He did that a few months ago. He accused him of being on banned substances.
Tyson Fury, he better measure his words. I know he's not known for that, but he better start because the BBBOC are reportedly now set to investigate comments made by Conor Benn's doctor, Dr. Usman Sajjad, who claimed in an interview last year that 80 to 90% of elite boxers use PEDs. His lawyer has insisted he's never been involved in the supply of performance-enhancing drugs. And you know who one of his clients is? One of Dr. Uz's clients is Tyson Fury. We talked about that here on the channel.
Now listen. My views on doping in the sport of boxing, they have changed over the years. Because the more I look at it,
Dr. Hughes might be onto something. Dr. Usman might very well be telling the truth. That 90% of the guys, or even 100% of the guys, the elite ones, that you see on your television screen,
or maybe it's not 90% of the guys in the sport of boxing, but 90% of the guys that he works with in his experiences. That's the only perspective he has.
his own insights, what he has seen. And he just so happens to work with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, who was busted for nandrolone use after the Christian Hammer and Vladimir Klitschko fights. Coincidence?
And he said the nandrolone came from ingesting wild boar testicles. Do you believe that?
Are you a fucking idiot?
Because you'd have to be. Here you have Dr. Ooze, in so many words, blowing the whistle on what are likely his own clients.
Tyson Fury, who's been busted for banned substances before, he just so happens to be one of Dr. Hughes' clients. What does that communicate? How does that look?
Now listen, we can go with the innocent until proven guilty angle. We can do that because Alexander Usyk has never failed a VADA test. Tyson Fury has.
We can do that. We can be wide-eyed with this. We can be naive, and we can say that Tyson Fury is in no position to talk because Usyk has never failed a VADA test, whereas Tyson Fury has. Usyk isn't seen cavorting with some doctor that may be supplying fighters with performance-enhancing drugs. Tyson Fury, on the other hand...
Well, listen, technically Tyson Fury didn't fail a VADA test. He failed the UCAD test. In any event, he failed an anti-doping test. That's never happened to Usyk, but it did happen to Fury.
So we can be wide-eyed with this. We can be naive. We can go with the innocent until proven guilty angle, or we can go a step further. Let's say that everything Fury's saying about Alexander Usyk is true. Let's say that Usyk, behind the scenes, behind the curtain, he is on banned substances.
So fucking what?
You probably are too. You got busted with him before. What, are you worried? Why are you pointing that out?
If that guy is using banned substances, you probably are too. What are you dry snitching on him for? I remember when Balco genius Victor Conti blew the whistle on Al Heyman 3 years ago, saying that he requested his fighter's VADA test results not be publicized. You then look over at all the attention Conor Benn's banned substance fiasco is getting. That scandal. You think about what Tyson Fury's doctor, Dr. Usman Sajad, you think about what he said, that 90% of boxers at the elite level are on something. So let's say all of that is true. Let's say it's exactly the way it looks. It's exactly the way Dr. Hughes says it is. If that's the case, why is Tyson Fury trying to blow the whistle on Alexander Usyk? What is he, nervous? What you're essentially doing is trying to rat the guy out. If you're on something and he's on something, it's even terrain as far as I'm concerned. If you're both on something, it is a level playing field. It's level, just not in the way most people think it is when they think of level. You're both on something. Tyson Fury's problem is he shoots off at the mouth a bit too much. Most people write it off as showmanship, but he ends up giving away important details, like when he mentioned Daniel Kinahan by name and attributed the Joshua versus Fury. He thanked Daniel Kinahan by name, mentioned him by name, when no one needed to know that he was involved in those negotiations. No one needed to know that he had anything to do with that. Why the hell would Tyson Fury take to social media and mention this guy by name, knowing what he knows about what happened in Ireland? What kind of stuff Daniel Kinahan's been linked to? Why would he do that? The fucking guy talks too much. That's why he'd do that. Here he is, insinuating, once again, that Usyk is on the sauce. Big fucking deal if he is. You were on the sauce. You're probably on it now. You pointing that out just makes you look nervous. Kinda like making Anthony Joshua an offer and then imposing time constraints and deadlines where there don't need to be time constraints and deadlines. I mean, just imagine if Anthony Joshua, back when he was an unbeaten champion, made Tyson Fury an offer and then constantly imposed deadlines and time constraints on when Tyson could accept it. Well, he could accept the offer. They'd never let Anthony Joshua get away with that kind of behavior, but for some reason, Tyson Fury gets away with it. Yeah, because some fucking people are stupid enough to think it's charming. They're not paying attention. They're fucking idiots. What you're exhibiting right here, my friend, is that you've got a guilty conscience. Why should his pets bother you? You're on them too.